Today we are going to design our sketchbook cover, and we are going to create abstract art. So abstract art is art that doesn't represent any real objects, people, or places. It focuses mostly on lines, shapes, and colors. So we're going to begin with lines. You're going to turn your paper horizontal or landscape mode, and you are going to draw 2 lines across your paper horizontally. But I want you to create curly or curvy lines. So let me show you what I mean. Here is a curly line, here is part of a wavy line, and then I'm going to do one more big curl at the end. And I'm going to do the same thing here, but maybe this time my curls are in different directions, and I'll do a few more. So I have my 2 horizontal lines. Now I'm going to do vertical lines. And you can choose to do any kind of line you want. So I'm going to do a zigzag line, and I'm going to go right through that little curl. And I'm going to go right through this one. So I'm going to do a zigzag line here. Maybe I'll do a really wavy line here. Another zigzag, and I'm going to go through those lines because I want to create little spaces like this. And I'm going to keep going. And I'm going to do another curvy line here. So now what you have is you have almost what looks like a puzzle. And all of these would be different puzzle pieces. If you see an area that's really large, like this would be a really big puzzle piece, too big of a puzzle piece. So I am just going to create another line to divide it. Now I have 2 pieces here. This is a really big piece as well. So I'm going to do another curve in here. And wherever you feel like there may be some big spaces that are too big, I want you to create another line. And make sure you connect from one line, and then you can stop at the other line, okay? So don't stop right in the middle like this, okay? Because that wouldn't create your 2 spaces. You want to make sure you go all the way to the edge or to another line. Now I have 2 spaces. I think I'm going to do 2 more. This is a really big space here, so maybe I will connect it like this. And maybe another one for this big space, and I'm going to go into this. Now I am ready to color. So since this is going to be our cover for our sketchbook, I'm going to take my paper, I'm going to flip it over, and I am going to fold it in half. Make sure when you fold it in half, you connect the corners, nice and neat. Connect this corner, and then press it down so it doesn't move, and take the other hand and push it across to create a crease. And then you're just gonna go back and forth to create a nice crease. And now you have a folder. You have the cover of your sketchbook. I'm going to open it back up. And now I can begin coloring. And what we're going to focus on is value. Value is the lightness or darkness of a color. And you can choose to use crayons, you can use colored pencils, or you can use art sticks. Today I'm going to use crayons since it is what most people have. And what I want you to think about is I want you to think about each shape that you created with your lines, however small, however large, is one puzzle piece. Think about it as one puzzle piece. This little shape right here is another puzzle piece. And each puzzle piece will be a different color. And you are going to create value in each puzzle piece. Let me show you what I mean. And you can use any color you want for this. So I am going to work on this shape right here. And I am going to begin by coloring really, really hard. And then I'm going to lighten it up as I go. So now I'm going to go to a medium value. And again, every time I make a new row, it is going to get lighter and lighter and lighter. So again, value is the lightness or darkness of a color. And the last value I do should be so light, you should barely be able to see it. So I went from dark to medium to light. It might be easier to go from light to medium to dark. And what I mean by that is, let's do this again. So over here, I am going to start light, very lightly, barely touching the paper. And now I'm going to do it again, giving it just a little bit more pressure. And each time I give it more and more pressure, making it a darker value until it is very, very dark. And you want to try and get quite a few different values in each puzzle piece. You don't want it just to be light, medium, and dark. You want to have different values of light, different values of medium, and different values of dark. This is a trick I show my students who have trouble doing the values. I tell them color lightly and don't go over it. Now the second row, you're going to color lightly again, but you're going to go over that twice. And it'll give you a darker value. The third row, you're going to do the same thing, but this time you're going to go over it 3 times, and that's going to give you a darker value. See how it's getting a little bit darker? Gradually, and I'll keep doing that. So this row, I'll do 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's one thing you can do to also create value. And that is how you are going to color the entire cover of your sketchbook. Value is a beautiful way to take your artwork from looking great to looking amazing. It makes such a difference in your work of art. Once you have finished coloring everything, now you can take a dark colored crayon like a black, and you can maybe outline some of those original lines that you drew, just to really make them stand out. And another thing I really like to do is to create shades. Shade is when you mix black with a color. So I am going to add black to the darker areas, like here, or here, or here, or here. You can mix it with a little bit of black. Let me show you what I mean. So right here, in this fuchsia color section, right in the darkest value, I'm going to mix it just a little bit with some black on the very, very tip. And that's going to create a bit of a shadow, giving it some more depth and a darker value as well. I'm gonna do it again right here in this little small section of red, just a little tiny bit. It's going to create a really interesting value and shade. You can see how on this side of my sketchbook cover, I have outlined it in black, and I added some tints in the dark values of my color. And over here, I have not yet done it. And you can see the difference. There is nice contrast. It really makes the colors stand out. And that little bit of black to create that shade really brings in more of the value that we're looking for. So now I'm gonna do the same to this side. Once you are finished with the cover of your sketchbook, you are going to take 5 sheets of white paper, and you're going to take each one and you are going to fold it in half the same way you did the first time. You're going to take the 2 corners, you're going to match them up, hold it down, and press along the edge. And you're going to do that to 5 sheets of paper. The same thing, fold it over, crease it, and you're going to do it 5 times. And then you're going to make sure that each of your 5 pieces are inside the other one. So I have 5 sheets, and I'm going to take these 5 sheets that I folded nice and neatly, and I am going to decide which is the front cover of my sketchbook. I'm going to slide these in, and now you have your own sketchbook. We are going to be using this throughout the year.